If you wish, I'll give you another chance. I'm Draco of Draco Construction. But today's the 13th, Commander.
I'm superstitious.
Oh, and I thought you were perfect. Hi, I'm Kevin from the SDP, and this is the 007 Diamond Jubilee. Our story starts in Portugal, where Bond rescues a woman from drowning herself in the ocean and playing baccarat without the money to pay her bets. The next day, an armed escort takes him to meet her father, who makes a deal. He'll pay Bond £1 million and an offer intel on Spectre leader Blofeld if he woos and marries his daughter. In order to do so, Bond announces to M his intention to resign from Her Majesty's Secret Service. But wait a minute, who's this guy? Is he supposed to be James Bond? I guess so. After Sean Connery got tired of playing the same lead role for 5 films and dropped out, the producers ended up drafting in Mr. George Lazenby, an actor and model from Australia. Whilst Lazenby handles the emotional turns required by the script quite well, he lacks assertiveness in some of his other scenes, and there are a few moments where his world-famous one-liners are obviously and poorly dubbed in post.
He's Bronstall.
I would have to call Lazenby my least favorite Bond actor, but I can't say I hate him as an actor.
Sorry, ma'am.
Fortunately, the supporting cast balances this out with characters such as the Bond girl, Countess Tracy DiVincenzo. Let me tell you, she is one of my favorite Bond girls. I really appreciate her personality, strength, and assertiveness, evident in her self-destructive tendencies early on. Well, maybe not that, but she does help Bond escape from the enemy later on. Usually it's the other way around.
Just keep my mind on your driving.
Her father, a Corsican mob boss, wants Bond to marry Tracy in order to knock some sense into her after her suicide attempts. His desires to keep her daughter under control might, out of context, appear uncomfortable to viewers of a younger generation.
It's fairly rotten to spoil the child, huh?
The role of the villain Blofeld was also swapped out, from Donald Pleasance to Telly Savalas of Kojak fame. The change to Telly Savalas, plus Blofeld's history with Bond, give the villain more chemistry. Of course, that does raise the question of why Blofeld doesn't recognize Bond through his paper-thin disguise as Sir Hilary Bray. However, Blofeld's plan is an insidious one. He has collected girls to help them with allergies, only to use hypnotherapy on them and have them deliver virus strains to their homelands. It turns out he wants Bond alive so the UN will take him seriously. And what are his demands, you may ask?
Revenge? Women?
Money?
Strawberries? The world?
Of course!
Actually no, Blofeld's demands are recognition of his title as Count and immunity for his past crimes. Nice to see a villain aware of his actions, am I right? Also present is Irma Bunt, and there's not much to say about her except for a rather unfortunate tangent. One point of note was that the book of OHMSS was followed by You Only Live Twice, where Bond avenges the ending by killing Blofeld as well as his wife. However, this didn't happen in the movies because Bunt's actress died days after the premiere. Why she couldn't have been replaced for the next movie is suspicious, considering the fact that this was after the movie where both the protagonist and antagonist had their actors replaced. But, as it stands, this is one unfortunate truth Bond fans have had to live with. Speaking of the books, this film is a more faithful adaptation of its source material, and as such doesn't rely on gadgets, save for one. In a lawyer's office, Bond uses a clunky, huge Safecracker Plus document copier in order to copy some documents relating to Blofeld, leave the originals, and get out of there before the lawyer returns. This entire scene is done without dialogue, but it's still one of the most tense and even memorable in the movie since we have no idea how long it would take for the darn thing to work. Also playable. The theme song is the third instrumental one, this time composed by John Barry. This is one of my favorites. It's powerful, it's stormy, and they made the wise decision not to include lyrics. Seriously, you got anything that rhymes with service? If this were the real James Bond theme, then it would have worked just as well as the one Monty Norman wrote. There's also a second, unofficial theme called We Have All the Time in the World by Louis Armstrong, which plays during Bond and Tracy's dating montage. The motifs in the opening credits include clocks, hourglasses, and footage from the previous Bond films. Interesting concept, I must say. It ties into the aforementioned Armstrong song, but the poor production values take me out of it. I applaud On Her Majesty's Secret Service for trying something new with its plot. Bond's conviction to take down Blofeld is a personally driven goal, as he wants to finish the job he spent the better part of a decade working on, and his relationship with the girl is a serious romance instead of the usual throwaway pleasure, thus making the ending that much more poignant. On the technical side of things, this film has dated less gracefully than other early entries in the Bond series. Undercranking is frequent during fight scenes, and as I said before, there's some rather obvious post-prod dubbing. However, much as Thunderball did with underwater filming, OHMSS does feature some impressive skiing scenes, thanks to the innovative filming techniques of Billy Bogner and Johnny Jordan. All things considered, this is a hidden gem in the franchise. It's a shame it hasn't gotten much exposure. Maybe it's because of the lead actor, I don't know. But guess what? We've got Connery back for the next outing. On Her Majesty's Secret Service scores 85%, a B+.
This never happened to the other fella.